Here are 4 Peak Design bags that I have purchased over the years. This is the field pouch. This is the first generation of the Sling, the 10-liter Sling. This is the first generation of their Tote. I think this is, yeah, the 20-liter Tote. And then this is their everyday backpack. This is the, which version is this one? This is the 30-liter everyday backpack version 2. In this video, I'm going to talk about my time with all of these bags and what I use them for, the pros and cons that I see, that I've experienced with them, with my usage as both photography, but mostly for video, and to travel with, and what I like and don't like about them. First off, I'll start with the pouch. I'll start with a strong negative. The field pouch sounded like a good idea on paper. And if you don't know about this pouch, it can collapse into a smaller form factor, or if it's more packed, you can extend it. Then there's a belt clip here, or you can put anything else through here. They have their anchors that you could put on, I guess, another of their straps. So you can use this as a sort of a fanny pack or a smaller sling. There's a lot of uses that on paper it sounded like this was going to be very useful. But in practice, once I stuff this full of my extra gear, I usually put batteries in here, and sometimes I store a 5-inch camera monitor. Once you stack this all in here, it really fills up and it gets pretty bulky, and it's not that easy to carry around. Once I have this packed, to me it's like a packing cube. You know those packing cubes for luggage? This is just like a packing cube. It gets so bulky that there's nothing else I could do with it other than throw this in a bag with other bags. I use it, but if I would have known that it was going to be so bulky and kind of heavy as well, I probably would not have purchased this. And I don't know if other people had this experience, but I have other bags that are this size, but not as bulky, and it doesn't get this heavy. So I don't really like the field pouch, although I do use it. Next thing, the negative, is the Sling. This is the first generation Sling, so I'm not sure if Peak Design has improved on these features. This is another bag that I thought was going to be very practical and I would use a lot. And I do use this more often than the other bags, but it's also bulky. It seems like it fits a lot, but it really doesn't fit that much compared to other bags that are the same size. And because there's a weight to it, which has its plus side, but the negative side is it gets really heavy once you fill this with stuff. Whereas other bags in the same capacity that use thinner materials, it doesn't get as heavy to me. But I like here, this pouch here, you can have extra batteries or SD cards. This is nice. This gets really full really fast though. And then you have this outside zipper here that you can store other stuff. I currently have a little Peak Design strap. This can also make things very bulky. Here you can stuff a jacket or a tripod in these straps. And then here, this is a good size. I like their collapsible dividers. That's a great invention. I like that. And you could store an iPad. I think you can store a regular 9 or maybe an 11-inch iPad, not the 12. And that's about it. You can't put a laptop in there. The thing I really don't like about this is that when you open it and you fill it and then you put it down, it slumps in the front. There's no good way to set it down and have it stay flat. It always just leans forward. All of the weight of this bag goes in this direction. It doesn't go in that direction. It goes in this direction. So whenever you're carrying it or trying to lay it flat, it always wants to go this way. And I think that's just the physics of this bag. Other than that, I like it. I like it better than the field pouch. But for the cost, I think there are other bags that are sling bags that are better than this. Maybe not better quality, but more practical and lighter. Now the bags I really like. The everyday backpack. I really like this bag. It holds a ton of gear. It's more for the urban travel on big city kind of bags. It's not meant for hiking. I did take this on a hike, which is why it's all dirty. I took this to Joshua Tree on a shoot, and this wasn't the right bag to take hiking or anywhere in the outdoors. I don't consider this a good outdoorsy bag, but if you're in a city, or if you're in suburban areas, or if you're traveling where you're gonna have a hotel, I really like this bag, and I would use it again. I'll use it all the time. On the back here, it has nice padding. It has a magnetic strap here that it can just come together. How does it go? Like that. So when you stow it away, the straps won't be flapping around. There's an area here where if you're going on an airplane and you have your luggage, you can slide it through. Here's where you put your laptop. And there's also other dividers in there. So there's this pocket that goes all the way down, and you have smaller dividers. So you can put not only your computer, but you can also put an iPad in there, and then a bunch of documents, and you have other little pockets here, and they're all mesh, and it's very good material, and it feels very secure in there. And you have a very big handle that I like. And then on the outside, it's very simple. It's really simple. There's not a lot of zippers on the outside. Besides here, you can put I think their tripod can fit in here, the Peak Design tripod, but you can also fit a pretty big water bottle in there. And same thing on the other side. You have almost the same, I think it's the same size on this side. And let's see here. Oh, they have their anchors on the side, which is nice. And then on the top, I like this design, this lasp. At first I thought I wasn't gonna like the fact that it doesn't zip all the way. There's no zipper that can completely secure it all. So in the unlikely scenario where you're hanging upside down, things might fall out. But if you're not gonna hang upside down with this backpack, I like the latch mechanism, and then it can grow. So it can grow depending on which latch you put it on. So if you have this top really filled, you put it all the way up here, and then you could hold a bunch of stuff, more stuff. In this main compartment here, you have access to these first dividers, which is nice. And then you have, right here, you have a little compartment, and it's a magnetized. So put this way, and then I like these large zipper compartments on both sides, so you can swing the bag to either side if you're running and gunning, and then you have access to these 3 areas right here, and they have dividers. Here's where I store my lenses and other pouches that I'll just fit in here. These are perfect sizes. If you have a 24 to 70 millimeter full frame lens, that's where this would go. If you have a 70 to 200, that I think would barely fit without the lens hood and without any extenders. I would try to fit that up here on the top. And then these side pockets I fill with batteries and chargers and other accessories. They have the same thing on the other side. So I use this bag a lot when I'm traveling this is the bag that can fit almost everything I have for photography and for video. And then the last bag, which this one was the biggest surprise for me. I really love the Peak Design Tote. I find this so useful for, I guess I just like the tote design, because since it just opens up on the top, I just throw everything in here. This is the bag that holds my miscellaneous, or whenever I'm doing a job or traveling where I don't really know what the environment's gonna be. This bag always seems to work because I can just open it up and throw in all my stuff, and they have their dividers here so I can rock with different lenses if I wanted to. This will fit a 70 to 200 straight down. This also fits short stands, those selfie stands from GoPro. I can fit a bunch on this side, a bunch on this side. It can fit some those smaller tripods, water bottles. Here I believe it can fit a laptop in there or a tablet. You can also remove all of this, the dividers, and just have one big empty cavity in there to throw a bunch of stuff. I would not grocery shop with this bag. I think that's overkill. Even though there's no zippers, a lot of these are magnetized or they're very flexible where when there's nothing in it, it compresses down, but if you want to fill it, this material is able to really stretch out so you can fit in batteries and anything else you need. This version, since this is the first version, there's no zipper on the top. It only seals with a magnet. So that maybe is an improvement with the second bag, but I don't mind because this whenever I take this bag, I'm aware of that, and I just don't put anything that would make this thing just peel, bust open and everything fall out. I also like these straps here. They're pretty grippy. The weight of the bag is fairly evenly distributed, so it doesn't tip over one way or the other like the Sling did. And you can also convert this into a backpack. On this side, you could have these into backpack straps, which I like. I haven't used it as a backpack yet, but I could. And then the side zipper compartment where you have access to everything in here, or at least if you have the dividers in, you have access to that side of the divider and then the other side. Lots of padding on the bottom. I am impressed with the tote bag. This was the secret that I never thought was going to be that useful, but I use the Tote a lot. Not all of Peak Design products are for me, but they've been a fairly consistent brand with really useful, usable gear.